President Tinubu himself admitted that there was prior intelligence that this attack will happen. And then it happened. 25 students were kidnapped. This is part of the failure of the Nigerian state. You get intelligence. Is the intelligence actionable? To commonsensical people? Yeah, if you have that prior intelligence, could you have prevented it? But they did not. And then the girls got abducted. And now after the fact, we're saying America wants to come and save Nigeria and all of that. No, it's not America that will save Nigeria. It's Nigeria that must find the political will among its leaders. And this is the point that a group called VIEW, Northern Women, they call themselves VIEW. I'm just summarizing their title. Kadari Ahmed, Asma'u Joda, who else is there? Aisha Oyebode, who else is there? You know, all these ladies, they have now issued a statement saying, where are our leaders? Miriam Weiss is also on that list. So the mothers of the North, they are speaking up and saying that this is about leadership. And I think that their statement should be amplified.
Very well said, Dr. Abati. And I like that point that you just made about speaking up. And, you know, talking about people that have been speaking up regarding this insecurity, we have Afrobeat superstar Davido, who expressed sympathy for the families of the 24 schoolgirls kidnapped in Kebbi State, calling on Nigerians to stand together in unity. In a statement that has generated over 1 million views online, the award-winning artist wrote, "My heart goes out to the young girls kidnapped in Kebbi State and to their families. No family deserves this pain. As Nigerians, we must stand together in unity and continue working towards a country where every child can grow up in safety and hope." Davido also expressed sadness over the tragic church attack in Kwara State, praying for families who lost loved ones. I mean, Davido is, you know, the first major celebrity to advocate for the Kebbi schoolgirls online. He called on anyone with credible information to assist in bringing back our girls. Meanwhile, activist Martins Osher, popularly known as Very Dark Man, staged a protest in Abuja demanding immediate government action to rescue the 24 Kebbi schoolgirls and address the escalating wave of killings across Nigeria. In a passionate address during the demonstration, Very Dark Man directly challenged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, questioning the federal government's inaction amid rising insecurity. He pointed to recent attacks, including a disturbing video from Kwara State showing terrorists armed with assault rifles storming a church.
President Bola Tinubu, are you still alive? If you are still alive, look at it. Bring back our girls. In 2014, you did everything. You talk against the government. You talk against Goodluck Ebele Jonathan regime. And then when you decided to become the president, we were happy, because we thought you knew what you were doing. But apparently you don't know what you are doing. All we ask now is for you to bring back those girls and stop the killing. Also, if you go further, you see, stop the killing and stop the kidnapping. It's too much.
Well, Vice President Kashim Shettima on Wednesday visited Kebbi State on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and assured the families of the 24 abducted schoolgirls that Tinubu is deeply troubled by the tragedy and will deploy all instruments of state to rescue the schoolgirls and bring their abductors to justice. The Vice President described the abduction as an assault on the collective conscience of all Nigerians.
Mr. President is deeply troubled by this tragedy. He shares your anguish, and he has sent me to assure you that this is not a moment for politics. This grief transcends party lines, geography, and identity. This is a time for unity, for compassion, and for firm resolve in the face of evil. This government will not relent. We will use every instrument of the state to bring these girls home and to ensure that the perpetrators of this wickedness bear the full weight of justice. Kebbi, you are not alone. Nigeria stands with you. And we shall not rest until your daughters, our own daughters, return to your warm embrace.
Ayo, the Vice President also promised federal government support for families of the late Brigadier General Musa Uba, who was killed by ISWAP insurgents, and the slain vice principal who was shot during the schoolgirl's abduction. While Governor Nasir Idris thanked President Tinubu for the show of concern and expressed optimism that the girls will be rescued soon. I mean, it's good to be optimistic, but what we're asking at this moment is bring back our girls.
Yes.
78 hours later, I am a parent. I cannot imagine what those parents are feeling at this point.
Absolutely. All right, so let me start with the Vice President. The Vice President wore the right clothes. He was in black, decked in black to show the state of mourning. He said the right things. He acknowledged the fact that the President was distressed and felt very bad about what was going on with regards to the insecurity and the kidnapping of the girls, acknowledged the efforts and honored the memory of Brigadier General Uba, who was killed, unfortunately, by the terrorists. And he said that they were going to deploy all efforts to ensure that the girls were back. So he wore the right clothes, said the right things, but to be honest, OG, Nigerians are tired of hearing the right things and listening to another condolence message by the people who have the responsibility and office to actually fix the problem. And so it's a good thing that he's gone to, and we've called for this, that it's good for leaders to show empathy and in this instance visit the sites or the theater where these things are happening or are taking place. But even beyond that, I think we've gotten to a point where we don't want those things. In addition to those things, we want to actually see action, because we believe that this government has the capacity, if willing, to deal with this problem. It's not an intelligence problem that we have, as the President said. It's the fact that when intelligence is given, there are eggs within, there are saboteurs within the security apparatus that actually sabotage the efforts of the military. And so I raised the question earlier today, and I'd like to reiterate that I recall that in 2014, when the President at the time, Goodluck Jonathan, had issues around insecurity with the kidnapping of the Dapchi girls, Leah Sharibu, and a number of insecurity issues. The President was very consistent, vibrant, and direct in his opposition, saying that if he cannot fix the problem, then the onus was on him to resign. I am hoping that the President will take on his own advocacy at this point, that if this administration is not able to secure the lives and property of Nigerians, particularly the lives of our young girls. People cannot go to school. We have people who are afraid to go and worship freely. Then perhaps he should take his own advice and resign at this point. And so the question I asked was that would he be willing to resign? Or election period is coming. If he gives Nigerians 2 years and he's unable to fix the insecurity problem, would he say that he will recuse himself from putting himself up for election in 2027? Those are the questions I asked. Yes. And I think it's time we got to that point. We have played too softly with the issues of lives in Nigeria so that we become desensitized. Now, going on to Davido, I applaud him because on this table we've called on people who have a huge platform. When we're all debating around whether Nicki Minaj should go or not, she used their platform to speak up because they also sometimes benefit from government patronage. But beyond that, it's even that we are all Nigerians at the end of the day, and whatever it takes. Yesterday, Nigeria woke up. You know why, OG? Because a lot of people saw the stark video of what's happening in that choir church. Beyond the care, because until we begin to see, and that's why I keep saying that people who have not experienced this are quick to say, oh, nothing is happening. Until we know the people who actually are directly affected by this, we'll continue to sit in our air-conditioned rooms or offices and say, oh, it's all good, it's just insecurity. Two truths can exist at once, insecurity and Christian genocide.
Well said, Ayo, well said. Speaking about Christian genocide, it is a significant diplomatic development. United States Congressman Riley Moore has met with a high-level Nigerian government delegation led by the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu in Washington, D.C. to discuss the ongoing persecution of Christians and terrorist threats in Nigeria. The meeting, which Congressman Moore described as frank, honest, and productive, allowed for discussions about counterterrorism, security assistance, protection of vulnerable communities, and ongoing violence across Nigeria. During the meeting, Congressman Moore clearly stated that the United States stands ready to coordinate and cooperate with Nigeria, emphasizing that President Trump will not tolerate continued violence against Christians or other forms of religious persecution. The high-powered Nigerian delegation included National Security Advisor, like I said, Nuhu Ribadu, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi. Well, Congressman Moore made it crystal clear in his statement that the United States must see tangible steps to ensure that Christians are not subject to violence, persecution, displacement, and death. He emphasized that the Nigerian government has the chance to strengthen its relationship with the United States, warning that President Trump and Congress are united and serious in their resolve to end the violence against Christians and disrupt terrorist groups like Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Fulani militants operating in Nigeria's northeast and middle belt region. I think this is a welcoming development, Dr. Abati. I did hear you earlier saying that, you know, the group should not have met with Riley Moore. But I mean, I think this is a good development, hearing that the cooperation from the United States and Nigeria may begin to start sooner than later. This is what I believe in at this point.
I agree with the view
you shared earlier.
Yes, as a freshman.
You know, that Riley Moore,
but he's
an overrated title.
But he's pushing
in political matters, and he's too junior to be the person meeting with the Nigerian delegation.
All right.
What we see here from the point of view of diplomacy is that the Nigerian government is trying to do damage limitation. So they've sent a very high-powered delegation. We are sending our National Security Advisor, our Inspector General of Police, our Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. We'll go and meet who? To meet some tyro called Riley Moore. Now, in diplomacy, I need to explain it.
Correct.
So that people don't think I'm being emotional.
Okay.
You know, I know the subject fairly well.
Good.
You know, when you send a delegation, they meet with their counterparts. The National Security Advisor of Nigeria should be meeting with his counterpart, maybe Jake Sullivan in the United States. The Minister of State should be meeting with her counterpart. The Inspector General of Police should be meeting with counterpart. The Inspector General of Police, the Attorney General, should be meeting with her counterpart. Then you send our key persons to go and meet some tyro.
All right, Dr. Abati,
in diplomacy,
perhaps,
in politics.
All right, perhaps this is the beginning of the meeting. Perhaps.
No.
And this is what I'm saying.
It's a very disrespectful reception that we got in the United States.
Okay, that I agree with you in terms of being a par with the your representatives, but we don't have the full picture yet. We've only heard about this meeting. We have the delegation there in America at this moment, and which I said I think it's the beginning of the conversation that is about to help preserve the cooperation. Yeah, and I like that point.
Send our National Security Advisor.
But you know, the idea about speaking out,
some small persons.
Correct. The idea about speaking out, and you know, it is brought up that hashtag right again. Bring back our girls. And Mike Arnold posted on X. He wrote, 11 years after Chibok, 24 more girls stolen from school in Kebbi. Hashtag Bring Back Our Girls 2025 demands immediate rescue ops, armed school security, and zero tolerance for ransoms. Who is with me? And this hashtag is beginning to trend on, social media. And I think, the Tinubu administration, for me, they need to really sit up and buckle up with this hashtag that is about to explode at this moment. Bring back our girls. We have our girls out there. This is what we really want. We want our girls returned.